Good morning, dear students. Today topic is antibiotics and antimicrobial drugs. Antibiotics are molecules that specifically target and kill cells. Anti-infectives are large class of drugs that can be used against fungal, viral, bacterial and protozoan infections. Antibacterial, antifungal and antineoplastic compounds are classified as antibiotics. Some antibiotics have been found to be useful as anti-cancer agents. Antibiotics are molecules that can be used to kill microorganisms, especially fungus and bacteria. And some antibiotics can also be used as anti-cancer agents. Mechanism of action of antibiotics. Antibacterial action generally involve one of the 5 mechanisms. It either inhibit the enzymes involved in cell wall biosynthesis of bacteria or protein synthesis in bacteria or nucleic acid synthesis in bacteria or metabolism and repair mechanism in bacteria, or it causes disruption of plasma membrane in bacteria. So through this any of these mechanism, the antibacterial or antibiotic substance inhibit the growth of bacteria and thereby killing the bacteria. So the main mechanism of action of this antibiotic is that they will interfere with the enzymes that are involved in the cell wall biosynthesis, protein synthesis, nucleic acid synthesis or metabolism and repair, or they will cause the disruption of plasma membrane of bacteria. First is inhibition of cell wall synthesis. The weakening of peptidoglycan layer within the bacterial cell will affect the structural integrity of the bacteria. So, those antibiotics which will inhibit cell wall synthesis selectively target the bacteria and they have no negative effect on the cells of mammalian host. This include beta-lactam antibiotics as well as glycopeptide antibiotics. They work by inhibiting the cell wall synthesis of target bacteria. So first one is beta-lactam antibiotics. Beta-lactam antibiotics are a broad class of antibiotics. It include mainly penicillin and penicillin derivatives. Penicillin and penicillin derivatives are commonly called penams. Then cephalosporins, then monobactams and carbapenems. Beta-lactam antibiotics are bactericidal and act by inhibiting the synthesis of peptidoglycan layer. So, beta-lactam antibiotics mainly include penicillin and it will act as bactericidal. That means it will kill the bacteria by inhibiting the peptidoglycan synthesis in the bacteria. And penicillin, the commonly known penicillin is penicillin G. It is otherwise called benzyl penicillin. Penicillin, it is a generic name which is used for a large group of beta-lactam antibiotics. Beta-lactam is actually the chemical structure or the chemical foundation for all these group of penicillin. And this different group of penicillin differ from each other in slightly in their chemical structure by addition or loss of one or two functional group. Amoxicillin, it is also a kind of penicillin and it is also commonly labeled as penicillin. So there are a lot of natural as well as synthetic penicillin, and all these penicillin compounds are commonly known as beta-lactam antibiotics. They are called beta-lactam antibiotics because they all share a similar structure and their basic structure is known as beta-lactam. And this penicillin, when we say penicillin, we commonly refer to penicillin G, that is benzyl penicillin. Amoxicillin, it is another antibiotic which is also a beta-lactam antibiotic. It is also sometimes called as penicillin. Then penicillin class consists of 5 groups of antibiotics, that is aminopenicillin. Aminopenicillin example ampicillin, amoxicillin, then anti-pseudomonal penicillin. Next class is beta-lactamase inhibitors, example clavulanic acid. This clavulanic acid is commonly given to children as antibiotic. Then natural penicillin. Penicillin G, penicillin K, penicillin N, penicillin O, penicillin V are all natural penicillin. That means they are isolated from fungus belonging to the genus Penicillium. Then penicillin is resistant penicillin, example methicillin. So these are all 5 different classes of penicillin. Aminopenicillin, then anti-pseudomonal penicillin, beta-lactamase inhibitors penicillin, natural penicillin, and penicillinase resistant penicillin.
Mode of action of penicillin. Transpeptidases and transglycosylases are enzymes in bacteria which connect the newly forming peptidoglycan layers with the existing peptidoglycan matrix. The specificity of the beta-lactam antibacterials is due to the ability to inhibit transpeptidase enzyme and thereby preventing the peptidoglycan assemblage in both gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Beta-lactam molecules with their structural similarity to D-alanine group within the peptidoglycan structure compete for the binding site of transpeptidases. Thus, it prevents the final cross-linking step or transpeptidization in the assembly of this macromolecule, and this will finally cause the formation of a fragile cell wall which bursts and kill the bacteria. So, mode of action of penicillin is that penicillin, it interferes with the 2 enzymes present in bacteria. The first enzyme is transpeptidases and second one is transglycosylases. Transpeptidase enzyme, it is responsible for the formation of cross-linking between the D-alanine group within the peptidoglycan, and this penicillin, it will specifically bind with this transpeptidase enzyme because it is a structural analog of this D-alanine group. So this transpeptidase enzyme will be inhibited by this beta-lactam antibacterials, and that it will prevent the peptidoglycan layer formation in both gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. So, as a result, the cell wall formed in those bacteria that is having this penicillin intake will have a fragile cell wall which will easily burst and kill the entire bacteria. So, mode of action of penicillin is that penicillin will specifically act on transpeptidase enzyme which is responsible for the formation of peptidoglycan. So, it results in the formation of cross-linking between the existing peptidoglycan layer and the newly forming peptidoglycan layer. And since this enzyme, this penicillin inhibit the enzyme, the cross-linking will not be formed and fragile cell wall will get easily burst, killing the bacteria. Next is glycopeptide antibiotic. It is another class of antibiotic, and this glycopeptide antibiotic are composed of glycosylated cyclic or polycyclic non-ribosomal peptides. This class of drugs inhibit the synthesis of cell wall by inhibiting peptidoglycan synthesis, and here these glycopeptide antibiotics can be used for treating Staphylococcus aureus infections, complicated skin infections, enterococcal infections such as endocarditis, which are usually resistant to the beta-lactams and other antibiotics. And these antibiotics include vancomycin, then ramoplanin and decaplanin. So, glycopeptide antibiotic, they can be used to treat bacterial infections which are resistant to this beta-lactam and other antibiotics, and especially they are used to treat Staphylococcus aureus infections, then skin infections, enterococcal infections, etc. And this drug act by inhibiting the cell wall synthesis of the peptidoglycan layer. And example include vancomycin, ramoplanin and decaplanin. Vancomycin. Vancomycin is a glycopeptide antibiotic. It prevents the cell wall construction by interfering the trans-glycosylase enzyme, and its antibacterial action is limited to gram-positive bacteria. Because of the larger size of this vancomycin, it is unable to penetrate into the outer membrane of the gram-negative bacteria. So, gram-negative bacteria are resistant to this vancomycin, but gram-positive bacteria are susceptible, and it will prevent the cell wall construction in gram-positive bacteria by interfering with the trans-glycosylase enzyme that is involved in the peptidoglycan formation. Next antibiotic is D-cycloserine. Peptidoglycan construction begins in the cytoplasm with the synthesis of a muramyl pentapeptide precursor containing a terminal D-alanine. D-cycloserine, it inhibits the two enzymes involved in this precursor synthesis, and thereby inhibiting the cell wall synthesis. So, D-cycloserine is an antibiotic which will interfere with the precursor synthesis of the peptidoglycan cell wall, and the precursor is a pentapeptide which is composed of the terminal D-alanine, and this D-cycloserine, it inhibits the precursor synthesis by inhibiting the enzymes, or it inhibits the two enzymes that are involved in the precursor synthesis. And next is bacitracin. Bacitracin, it inhibits lipid phosphatase enzyme, thereby preventing the release of finished peptidoglycan from its lipid carrier. So, bacitracin enzyme, it interferes with the phosphatase enzyme, preventing the peptidoglycan layer release of this peptidoglycan from the lipid carrier. Next is cephalosporins. They are antibiotics which are used against both gram-positive and gram-negative infections. They work in similar way as that of penicillin. Cephalosporins treat many of the infections including strep throat, ear infections, urinary tract infections, skin infections, lung infections, and meningitis. So, cephalosporins are very similar to that of beta-lactam antibiotics that are penicillin. So, they work in a similar way as that of penicillin, and they can be used to treat infections including strep throat, that is infections caused by streptococcus in the throat, and ear infections, then urinary tract infections, skin infections, lung infections, and meningitis. Here is the basic structure of this beta-lactam antibiotics. So, the first figure number 1 is the core structure of penicillin, and figure number 2 represents cephalosporins, and the red ring that is given in the two figures represent the beta-lactam ring. So, there is only a minute difference between the penicillin and cephalosporin. So, penicillin itself is having so many different classes, so they all differ from each other very slightly. So, this is all for today's class. We will continue antibiotics in our next class. Thank you.